Hi, I'm Bill Lampton. I'm going to bet that by now you have had the experience, just before you're going out to face an audience to give a presentation, you've had the experience of saying to yourself silently, oh my gosh, if there were just some way I could get out of this. In fact, I'd pay a pretty good sum of money if I just didn't have to go face those people. Fear grips you. Your voice just doesn't seem like it wants to come out. Your body is shaking. You feel like a bundle of nerves. Your nervous system, you think, is shot. This is a pretty common experience. This is why for a number of years I've given seminars and speeches on the topic of how to control your stage fright. I didn't say get rid of it. No, we don't expect that, but we can learn to control it. By now, maybe you've had an opportunity to look at my video, 6 Ways to Control Your Stage Fright. If you haven't, it's still available. Go to YouTube. On YouTube, on the section for videos, type in my name, Bill Lampton, and you'll find that video among quite a few others there. Or you can find it on my video blog, http://thecompletecommunicator.com. Go to the June 2008 archives and you'll see it there. Well, today I'm going to add 3 more very valuable tips on how you can control your stage fright. I think you'll find them just as useful as the other 6. The first tip I'm going to give you for controlling your stage fright is stop trying to be perfect. Now wait a minute, you might say, Bill, do you mean it's okay for me to mispronounce a word, to stammer and stutter sometime, to make a gesture that looks a little bit awkward, to lose eye contact momentarily with my audience, even to get lost for a minute and have to stop and think where I am? It's okay to do those things? Sure, it's okay. Why? Well, because your audience does not want a robot. An audience wants someone who just converses with them naturally. And in conversation, we make mistakes. All we're doing now is just having a conversation with our audience. So take away the pressure of trying to be perfect. Recognize that your audience doesn't want that. They want a real person. Just to compare for a minute, as a television viewer, I always got turned off by Dan Rather. Dan Rather, to me, was too much of a robotic broadcaster. I just felt everything was in place. Everything was perfectly synchronized, planned. He never got out of step. He never really got into it. He was never present himself. On the other hand, I really enjoy watching someone like Matt Lauer on the Today Show. Matt Lauer, I feel, chats very casually with his guest, and I get the impression that he's doing that with me as well. Believe me, you will relax much more. A lot of your stage fright will diminish when you say to yourself, I don't have to be perfect. My second valuable tip would be welcome fear as your friend. You say, what? Fear is my friend? Yes, fear can be your friend. Why? Well, for one thing, it's fear that drives you to do an adequate amount of preparation. Even today, after many years of speaking, and after a good number of years of speaking professionally, full-time, I still have the experience of being driven to work as hard as I need to by fear of what will happen if I don't. So we can turn a negative into a positive. It does become a very good positive. During the years when I started my career, my professional career, teaching at the University of Georgia, I was teaching, among other courses, including some graduate courses, I was teaching the basic speech course. Believe me, I had much rather have a student who seems to have terrific jitters than I would to have a student who seems like he or she is up there to take an afternoon nap. You can do something in toning down someone who's very high-strung, but you can't do much with someone who has no energy. Another comparison I like to make is, suppose that when the next Super Bowl comes on, you watch the 2 teams come out from their various ends of the field. that come out on the field for pre-game practice, and both teams all of a sudden just start yawning and they look so listless. Well, what kind of a game are you going to have? You're not. It's not going to be exciting. You like it when the players come out all revved up and they're jumping around and they're patting each other on the back and they look totally zestful. Yes, fear is our friend because fear gets that adrenaline going and really, as in an athletic contest, gets us totally up for the game. Before I give my third suggestion on how you can control your stage fright, I want to point out that when you go and look at the 6 ways to control your stage fright, either on YouTube or on my video blog, you'll notice that more than 10,000 viewers have watched that, which tells us again, this is not something that afflicts us alone, but stage fright is very, very universal. Something else I want to mention as well, be sure to go to my website, championshipcommunication.com. While you're there, look at the online coaching program that you can sign up for. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, you can sign up for that program at a very modest budgeted fee. And then also look at my coaching page. The coaching page talks about how we can work together on an individual basis. And now for the third suggestion I want to make, be sure just before you get up to speak, remember your successes from previous presentations. We have a tendency to blot out that, and we have a tendency to think maybe of a time when we failed. Here's where I'll share with you something that Tony Robbins said that I like to quote to audiences. Tony Robbins, one of the best known motivational speakers, asked an audience this question: how many of you in here have ever watched a bad movie? And of course they all raised their hands. Tony Robbins then said, how many of you went back to see that movie or checked it out of the video store again? Nobody had. Why? We don't like to watch unpleasant movies again. They put bad thoughts in our head. And yet Tony Robbins said, sometimes we will replay those old bad scenes that we have experienced, and they do nothing positive for us. They just debilitate us and drain us of confidence. So just before you get up to speak, make sure that you think about the times when you delivered a topic energetically, enthusiastically, confidently, and persuasively. And afterwards, people told you that your speech was very helpful to them. Remember that, and your stage fright will be minimized considerably. It's been fun to be with you. I hope that these tips are ones that you will put to work right away, along with the other 6 that I have mentioned. Once more, I invite you to visit my website, championshipcommunication.com, where you can sign up for my free, that's the word, everybody's favorite word, free. You can sign up for my free monthly newsletter, Winning Words and Ways. Just go to my website's homepage, enter your name and your email address in the slots provided. And in closing, I'll say, you won't get rid of your stage fright, but you can control it. And you and your audience will benefit tremendously.